Warning! What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Ladies and gentlemen, dorks and dweebs, nerds of all ages, GeekPod Network Productions is proud to bring to you the most electrifying middle-aged guys in Syracuse, the Doctor, Hugh Allen, the Pod Whore, Paul Showens. Alone, they are single geek beacons in a dark cop drama world. But when the mics go hot, they are GeekPod. God bless me! Hello and welcome to this week's edition of GeekPod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Corbs.
I'm Kevin.
Can't do that.
Kevin was the only one I got right.
You got me right according to my screen. So.
According to my screen, you got me and Hugh right. So,
according to my screen, I got everybody wrong except Kevin because I just had to point down at him. Anyway, so guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I have couple things I'm excited about. First of all, not excited about the concussion I might have given myself right before the show. But as you know, I've been looking for.
I'm excited about that.
I hate you.
that was the voice in my head.
So I've been, I found a good non-alcoholic beer. We talked about it previously, Athletic Brewing Company. And of course, then my diabetes diagnosis comes in, and now I'm looking at carbs. And while Athletic Brewing Company tastes great, and even at 100 or 70 to 100 calories a beer, 22 or 23 carbs, So I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So I start looking around, and I found another company. They're called BrewDog. That's a BREWDOG. And what's interesting about them is while they have a regular, fully alcoholic line, they also have a non-alcoholic line. Most of the beers they call it the AF version. Like they have a hazy, IPA. Well, their non-alcoholic version is called Hazy AF.
So hazy as fuck.
Yeah, basically separates the the NA stuff from the full octane stuff. And I've tried most of the ones they have, and you know what? They're good. And I hope this doesn't cost us a promotional deal someday. I'm going to say this. They're not quite as good as Athletic. They're a little bit I don't want to say watered down, but they're slightly thinner. However, they're close enough in taste, and at 30 calories a can and 1 or 2 carbs, that trade-off is worth it because now I can sit down and have 3 of them and it doesn't have a huge impact, on my diet. So they've got several. I'm going to have a few tonight. One of the ones I really like and I thought was interesting is they have one that's called Ghost Walker. And this is the can. Very cool artwork. You notice right in the middle, it says Lamb of God. This is a collaboration with metal band Lamb of God. Now, I could have looked up the story behind this. I didn't. So I'm going to make it up right now. I'm assuming somebody in the band probably had a problem with alcohol or had to stop drinking alcohol at some point. So they went to BrewDog and say, hey, I want to make a beer that I can drink on stage and not, black out and, fuck my wife's sister and things like that. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Pretty good. Everything I've had is pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. The other thing that has me excited is I've noticed how much time I spend looking at my phone and pressing things and doing things. And I mean, I don't think I'm a phone zombie like some people, but I decided I don't want to do that anymore. So I've started deleting the games off my phone, and I want to start. I've been reading. Like when I'm eating dinner, I read. I download novels and things like that, and lots of horror stuff. I've ordered some magazine subscriptions. One of them is to, the magazine's called Kevin Stares at His Phone like an idiot during the podcast. No, I subscribe to National Geographic, Nat Geo History. There's a cooking.
So do I.
A cooking magazine. What was the other one? I got Nat Geo Kids for my daughter, and Game Informer. I swear there's one other one, but I want to start reading again with something in my hands, not just on a Kindle. I kind of want to get the tactile feel of it. Maybe it's a getting older thing, or my eyes are going bad. But I'm looking forward to that. Of course, when you get a subscription to a magazine, do you realize it still takes like 3 fucking months for them to start sending you magazines? In this day and age,
kind of crazy,
where I can order a giant motorized dildo from Amazon and it's here yesterday. I try to order a magazine and it takes 3 months to get the first issue.
That's kind of crazy.
It's
I've got like
ridiculous.
6 boxes of old.
What was that? Corbs? What was that?
I wonder why you're ordering a 6-foot dildo.
I'm not. That was just an example. But Corbs, I'm glad that you're wondering where I got it. I'll share you some notes after the show.
Okay, good.
I've seen it on Amazon. I can tell you where to get it.
I got like 6 boxes of old Geographics you can have.
I totally thought he was going to say I've got 6 boxes of motorized dildos you can have.
I got a bag of old dildos. I found them on the side of the road. I mean, it's
you should
a bag
just
of dildos.
That, so you can hand it to people. They're going to hand it back to you, but here, this is what you deserve. It's a big bag of dildos.
I tried holding it out one time to see if anybody would stop and take it from you. They just wouldn't take it.
You can hear the doors locking on the way by. Just
pretty weird. I mean, it's not like I was wearing a clown outfit or something.
Yeah, he was.
But I'm thinking, there was a point in time where I thought I was rather intelligent. I'm generally one of the smart guys in the room, and I still am. But I feel like I haven't really spent time improving myself. So that's really why I focused on Nat Geo and history, and I kind of want to get back into making myself a better person through knowledge. We all, our work is always trying to throw, and your work is probably the same, always trying to say, you should take these courses, you should do that. They talk about self-improvement all the time, or where do you see yourself going in the next few years? And I'm like, well, my couch playing Assassin's Creed is pretty good. I'm fairly happy there. But yeah, I want to maybe increase my knowledge about some shit happening in the world and be a better person. I'm excited about that.
I like that.
I do. That's pretty nice.
Yes. I mean, you can just go to Wikipedia and increase your knowledge there, but
you can't trust it. And I also don't. I mean, how much do we really absorb when you search up something on Wikipedia really quick? You don't absorb it.
No, and it's basically you're looking for like one nugget out of the whole fucking thing. Like that's it.
To make a point or win an argument or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Can you see like, hold on, you're wrong. Digs through box of National Geographics to find an issue from 1972.
I know all the issues that have boobies in them.
Boobies are free on the internet, Kevin. I don't care about that.
They're free in his box of National Geographic too. No.
Yeah. And nobody knows when I'm looking at them.
Way to bring it down, man. Way to bring it down.
I'm just saying, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Speaking of boobs, something interesting. I was going to save this for another segment, but since we segued right into it, so I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins this week, the one from in Egypt. I went back to try to finish some of the stuff, and I'm walking around, and all of a sudden I find 2 topless women. Out of the blue, didn't even, wasn't expecting it. I'm doing a mission. I come back to this place and lady walking around down the road. I'm like, hold on a second, go over. I'm like, holy crap, she's topless. What the fuck?
What game was that again?
Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay, thanks.
He's on fire tonight.
I think Kevin needs some boobs.
He's getting to be a little bit of an older guy. He's getting them.
I'm looking at 3 of them.
Kevin's got the one-liners tonight. Look at him go.
It's imperfect.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I don't care.
All right.
I got a couple things for me. Obviously, we didn't record last week because it was my birthday. So
holy shit, it was?
No. My birthday's not till next year at this time. So
perfect. I didn't miss it.
No, we didn't miss it this year. It only happens every 4 years. So it's my 46th birthday. So It was a nice weekend. Friday night, my mom and sister and girlfriend planned dinner. Took us all to dinners, to me, my girlfriend, sister, my father, my son, her son. So we all went to dinner at Twin Trees.
Nice.
Came back here, played some games. Had girlfriend made ice cream cake, which was amazing. Homemade ice cream cake, which was nice.
Diabetic friendly, of course.
What's that?
So diabetic friendly, of course.
Of course. So that was, that was the big thing for me. But I had been hemming and hawing about buying new golf clubs.
Uh-oh.
So I finally had decided that I was going to go ahead and do it. I'd gotten my income tax back, and I was like, all right, I got some extra money, new job. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. New clubs. So I bought new clubs, and they were supposed to be here for my birthday. Supposed to be here on my birthday. And, of course, they didn't show up till the day after. So I had them for the second time I played golf this year. So I had them last Sunday. So I was going to play golf with brand new clubs for the first time in ever.
How long did it take to get them from the time you order them?
Just about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So you can get golf clubs in 2 weeks, but you can't get a magazine subscription for 3 months. That's
exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
You are catching on, Kevin.
They couldn't just kind of slip the magazine in with the golf clubs and make it quicker? Or?
Seriously.
Why would they put my magazine in his golf clubs? That makes no sense.
I don't know. Why are they putting your motorized dildo in with his golf clubs?
Well, I ordered that for myself.
That took a turn.
that was my own. Never mind.
That was just for me. Don't worry about that.
So you put your motorized dildo in his golf clubs? That's even weirder.
That's a euphemism, just so you know.
Oh, depends on how much fun you want to have on the green.
It wasn't a dildo.
They don't call it a hole-in-one for nothing.
Hole-in-one.
Other thing is, so Saturday, for the birthday weekend, we had a cornhole tournament that we played in.
Oh, God.
Yes, after the hole-in-one.
There's more material, Kevin. What are you going to do with this one,
I
Kevin?
don't have anything to say. No. Please stop.
So, well, I'll leave it short. So it was a blind draw. They put numbers on a thing and drew your partner, and my partner and I won the whole thing. So, sorry, Kevin.
Dude, I needed that. Thank you.
So, and then last thing is today I got some bad news, personal bad news, not really like bad. But, so you guys know I play in a adult baseball league in the summertime.
Yes.
Found out this year that the team that I play on is not playing this year. So,
are they all in AA?
No, most of them died.
Oh,
you're kidding, right?
Really?
That's not.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say that shit's not funny.
Oh my God.
No, we couldn't get enough guys to field the team this year, so we're going to take the year off.
There you go.
Hugh, I was going to say, Hugh has sources for good non-alcoholic beer, so I've heard.
Yeah.
These guys won't drink it. These guys drink beer. That was our mainstay for our games. Was we may not beat you, but we'll drink you under the fucking table in the parking lot.
And the grilling.
And the grill. Oh yeah, grilling.
Before the game. That's why you don't beat them.
Sometimes before the game. Most of the time after the game, we would be there until they shut the lights off in the parking lot.
I'm going to call the cops.
We thought the cops were coming a couple times. That's how long when the lights in the old folks' home shut off in the parking lot and you're still there drinking.
Yeah,
you have a small.
Little bit of a problem.
Sounds like a good night.
Oh, that was every night when we played.
Oh, it's perfect.
All of a sudden, Kevin wants to play softball.
It's not softball.
I'm just
I'm sorry, baseball. My bad.
I might become a spectator.
Yeah, we had spectators from other teams come over and join us. I mean, that's the way it was. We would sit in the parking lot after our games and watch the other games and drink and cook out, and the fans and the other teams would come over and sit with us and be like, "You guys are having way more fun over here. We're just going to come over and hang out." All right, here's the beers in the cooler.
There you go. See?
So that's it for me.
Kev, let's get you geeked.
Oh, geez, I don't know. I had a bit of a breakthrough at work at the beginning of the week. Of course,
I was going to say that had to be earlier in the week.
Yeah, I've had the rest of the week off. My own, stuff going on in the family the whole bit. But no, I had a bit of a breakthrough with a guy I work with, and I don't mean Paul, even though I don't know if anybody knows that or not. But Paul and I work together. And for Paul's education at work, it's me trying to shove things down his throat, making him learn. But it doesn't work all the time.
Did that coincide with cornhole?
It has something to do with that thing he put in your golf club bag.
So wait, so you're saying I'm not the only person who tells you what you should do and then you don't listen to their advice even if you asked for it? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you tell Paul to do something, he's going to do the opposite, no matter what it is.
So I try to coerce him in a different way. I offer
you got to tell him what you don't want him to do. So
breakfast
pizza. Do what you want him to do.
Breakfast pizza. I heard that. That I'll be on board for.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. This is prevalent, I think, everywhere. There's a problem with trying to keep things consistent in order for to have some efficiency. I mean, it's difficult when you have an environment where things change on a regular basis and you have so many people that have different requirements. So the consistency on a platform is extremely difficult to maintain. But when an IT department is kind of on different trains of thought or methods of moving forward, it can cause a few more issues. I had a bit of a breakthrough earlier in the week that kind of aligns some of that stuff, I think, and I think it's going to help all of us move forward. But I mean, that's probably the best thing that's happened to me all week for sure. Last probably 3 weeks. I saw that movie, by the way, the new one.
Good.
Really good. Some people said it could drag, but I liked it. And hey, guess what? I'm all caught up on Falcon Winter Soldier.
Perfect, because we're going to be hitting on that later.
Good.
Earlier. Yes, we're going back in time.
Whatever. Have some more beer.
I don't know what you've been drinking.
When we hit the break, maybe. All right. So my big thing, and I've been holding on to this for 2 weeks now.
You might want to let go of that.
I do once in a while. I mean, you got to clean up. As you guys know, I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. I've been since 1983. And they just announced the release date for the new G.I. Joe movie that's coming out this year. It got pushed up to July 23rd of this year. And this one is going to be a Snake Eyes origin movie. I don't know if you guys have seen stuff about this. We're expecting a trailer to drop anytime now. And I'm kind of psyched that it's just going to come out on the weekend of my birthday. So I can go to the theater if it's safe and be disappointed with this one as well.
So it's live action, right?
Yes.
And is it the same guy that played Snake Eyes in? No,
Henry Golding is playing him this time.
I mean, would anybody know? You never saw his face, so.
Judging by the action figures they're rolling out with it, we're gonna see him without a mask on in this one. So,
well, early on, what was the origin of Snake Eyes? Why does he wear a mask? Is he disfigured?
Helicopter accident. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Now, is this intended to take place in the same universe the other movies they made?
I think this is going to be the starting point for the new ones. I think we're rebooting. There's going to be a lot of characters from G.I. Joe lore in this one already. We're going to get Scarlet's going to be in there, and the Baroness is going to be in there. Obviously, Storm Shadow is going to be in it.
You were in the first ones.
Yes. But now they're all going to have a hand in his origin. So
that sounds kind of personal.
I mean, hey,
all of them.
Well,
it doesn't fit, does it?
It shouldn't. But apparently, like when they retold his origin in the comics, like some of these characters did show up in it. Like Baroness did have something to do with his origin, and Storm Shadow definitely does. He's the one that brings him into the Arishikaji clan. So
right. We saw that in the movies that have been out, and that's pretty well right out of the comic book.
Yes.
Interesting.
I can see by your faces you're all very excited for GI Joe.
I'm looking forward to it. I like GI Joe.
Yeah,
I was a big GI Joe fan when I was a kid. Big GI Joe. Into GI Joe when I was a kid.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, I'd like to see that. Matter of fact, I think I read something a couple years ago that they were supposed to be coming out with it, but obviously, with the Wuhan and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think that they've really treated the franchise very well so far. As a kid, the cartoon captured my imagination, especially when they did the movies and introduced Serpentor, was it the Emperor thing, and all that stuff. Really great. I mean, Duke taking the fucking snake in the chest. As a kid, I cried. As an adult, the movies, I mean, as action movies, they didn't suck. I mean, they were good summer popcorn action flicks, but neither of them made me go, yeah, G.I. Joe is back. I was like, whatever.
Right. They weren't really I rewatched them this past year because, I mean, what else do we have to do? So, yeah, definitely not really G.I. Joe. That could have been any generic action movie.
Yeah.
Like any near future military action film.
And they need to bring Sergeant Slaughter in. Come on, get him while he's still alive.
Yes, that would be great. That was a missed opportunity in the other movies. They should have just had some kind of a thing. Now he's got to be in his 70s, so I don't know, but I'm sure he's not doing much of anything else.
Yeah.
So
CGI.
Except hawking his new action figure for Action Force. So other than that, yeah.
I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be time. I haven't seen the information about it coming, but
all right. Well,
it's always my favorite character, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'll send you some stuff from what they've shown so far, but there isn't a lot. There's no trailer, there's no teaser. We've basically just got information and pictures of the toys. So,
did you take your GI Joes apart and reassemble them with different legs and arms and shit?
For shame.
That's right. You lost the light there, I think.
Yeah, my monitor's turned off.
But yes, I created my own FrankenJoes. Yes. Let me write that down. So let's move on to our video game segment that Q hates the name for, playing around. Quickly.
All right, I beat Valhalla.
Yes, I got that text the other day.
Yeah, I beat Valhalla. I'm sad. The DLC doesn't drop until next month. I will tell you that I got the good ending. It's gonna take you by surprise. I mean, they clearly intend on continuing the story, so you're gonna have to get the season pass or buy the DLC, because I'm like, what, really? That's it? But not in a bad way. Sometimes something ends and you're like, it's just I was expecting more resolution. I figure even if they're going to do downloadable content, they have to deliver a full complete package, and it almost felt like one more cutscene would have wrapped it up. But there was a missed opportunity there. Also, there is going to be a swerve, and if you haven't read ahead of it, I'll tell you, parts of the game I was sick to my stomach playing. There is a twist that I didn't know about, and I'm still kind of, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm a little angry, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to ruin it for you guys.
I actually turned mine on today this week. I actually played for a little bit. I finally went to Vinland, so I'm starting that whole thing. No one mentioned that I'm hanging out with the Iroquois. That was interesting.
Yeah,
that's about all I've got to say about it at this point, because it was a short time for me. Corbs, you playing anything?
Played Valhalla for like a minute, but my dad, for every year for my birthday, my dad buys me the new baseball game.
So you got the show
Tuesday. So the show. So I played that for the past couple of days.
Nice.
I'm not that impressed with it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I used to do like the road to the show, which is like the career mode.
Yep.
And normally you can make your guy, and you go through and you go to like the showcase. They have a showcase for all like the high school kids and
Mhm.
college kids and whatnot, but they didn't do that this year. And normally you can pick your position. You can pick a pitcher, you can pick a fielder, catcher, wherever you want to play. This year they have you being a pitcher and a position player, and I'm like, really? That you don't get to pick your you can edit everything, but you don't get to pick your name. You don't get to do all that stuff beforehand. You have to wait until after. So, and normally they send you through the draft, but this time you just get drafted to a team.
Interesting.
And then you start playing. I was like, that's kind of lame. That was like the big thing for me was to be able to make the character the way you want to, go and get scouted, try to get drafted in the first round in the first few picks. Obviously, you never really do, but stuff like that. So, but that's I've been playing that. I was gonna play some Valhalla, but I decided, nah.
You're gonna hit some balls instead.
Yeah. I'm going to play some golf tomorrow, so I probably won't play tomorrow either. So
There you go.
What are the system requirements for Valhalla? I'm looking at it on Epic right now. What are the?
We wouldn't know that.
he's all blurry.
No idea. We're all playing on PlayStation.
Oh, whatever. You guys are lame. Oh, here we go.
He's like half a Kevin.
Ryzen. Oh, sorry. No, I'm just looking at the specs for it. Ryzen 3 or let's see, or an i7, i5 or i7. Geez, it'll play on 4 gig of RAM. Oh, GPU. They want a 4 gig GPU. Oh wow. Yeah, I don't have that.
No. But you do have a tabletop game you want to talk about for us, right?
Can you
I do. Let me get a little more light down here. Did I do what?
Can you get it done in just under 6 minutes?
I don't know. Can I?
I don't know. Ask
Do I have
it.
to? Do I have to? Yeah, it's simple. It's simple. So
Ask Aunt Baru, she could tell us.
So if she isn't a flaming corpse by now. Anyway, so the game I have to show you, talk about is the game called Farkle.
Oh, I love Farkle.
F-A-R-K-E-L.
Spicy Sparkle.
You know what? And I think it actually spells F-A-R-K-L-E somewhere too, if you, depending on where you find it. Electronic game. It's been an electronic game for quite a while. You can get it, different platforms, Facebook, whatever. On your mobile thing, their device, whatever you have in your pocket. And I'm not talking about that, Paul. Get your hand off it. This is the actual dice game. So this is a version that has everything in it. You have the dice. There's a score sheet in here. You can see the score sheet in there. There's the dice, and every different version you buy, not all of them, but a lot of them have some extra ways to score. So like this one's Spicy Farkle. One of the numbers on each one of the die is colored red. If you would get 1 through 6, all red, it's an automatic win. That's an example. This is a different version. This is glow in the dark Farkle, and you can play this in the dark. Obviously, your dice will glow in the dark. The nice thing about having these little cases is all of your rules are in the lid. You get another little pull out with all the rules in it. But what we like about Farkle, besides the fact that it's fun to play and with a bunch of people, doesn't matter how many people you have, 2 to 20, however many you want. You can have teams or whatever. What we like about the game, besides, and I have these everywhere. I have them, I carry them in my backpack. We have them at my friends' camps. I take them and I'll leave one there, and it's just there, and they don't even know it's there. And I'm like, hey, let's play Farkle. They're like, what's that? And I go, this here has been on your counter for 3 months. So let's play it. What we like about it is it's very easy to make a drinking game out of it. That's kind of a theme with me, I think. Every game so far has had a little bit of a twist to it. You can make a game out of it.
You and I will be talking one of these days.
So, so regular dice, regular 6-sided dice, and there's part of the rules are if you get a 1 or a 5, you can continue to roll, and you get a score based on the cumulative dice you have. So they don't stack. In other words, I can't get 6 of a kind by rolling a 1 and a 2, then a 3 and a 4, then a 5 and a 6. I have to roll all 6 as a straight to get a straight. But I can roll 3 threes and then add another 3 and another 3 and another 3 like that. So there's minimums, all the rules, and they're really not that difficult. But the 5s, the 1s and the 5s are the ones that you can roll individually and keep on rolling. And if you roll a 5, you have to drink. So if you roll 3 5s, then you're a drunk. It's a lot of fun, and we play it. My wife and I and my friends that we get together. We ride snowmobile together. When we get done riding, we have Farkle and drinks and whatever else goes on. But very, very fun dice game. Very easy to play. Very easy to modify the rules just a little bit, so you don't have to, you don't have to roll 300 to get in the game. I mean, little things like that you can change to make the game a little bit more fun and easy for everybody to have fun with. Maximum of 10,000 points to win the game. And if you play teams, you can have a lot of fun like that too. So a lot of fun. It's really, really neat little game.
Very cool.
Oh, I didn't show you this. This is a different travel version, little tiny like film canister size.
Nice.
Focus. So you pop this open, and so you can get all different kinds of these things. I haven't looked for them for a long time. Little tiny dice.
Nice.
Cool.
So you can find all these. You can find them all over the place. Like I said, I don't remember where I got these, but it was some kind of a game site or something. I probably get them on Amazon now, for all I know.
You can get them anywhere now, because I bought mine at Walmart.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where I got our game from. We play it when we have family game nights. We'll play it sometimes. So
yeah, it's a good thing. We got 15, 20 minutes, whatever. So not enough time to play a board game or something. Just throw a couple hands of Farkle around.
Funny story about that is I discovered Farkle years and years ago on a Samsung Windows phone. I discovered the game, okay? When the full keyboard actually ran a version of Windows. One day I was in Walmart and I saw Farkle on the wall. I'm like, holy shit, that's a real game?
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
So apparently I'm the only one that's never heard of it. It's completely new to me. So
I'll bring it over and
we'll do that.
You'll like it. It's fun. It's a simple, fun, dice game.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think it's time to head to break. We'll come back and we're going to go right into Hugh's news. And now the news. First up, the hero we need. The Hollywood Reporter broke news today that Captain America 4 is moving forward with Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I am very excited about that. The showrunner from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Malcolm Spellman, and writer Delon Masson are developing the script. So they're going right from the show, going right into the movie. Now, this is a big week for Marvel as far as casting and things like that goes. It was also reported that Emilia Clarke is joining Secret Invasion. Wondering who she's going to be playing. You've heard the rumor, right?
I've heard people suggest Sue Storm.
Oh,
maybe they're going to introduce Fantastic Four. What have you heard?
Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman.
That would be. My concern is that I don't want to say big actress, but I mean, she's rising. Would they be able? I mean, I feel like Jessica Drew could actually be a very powerful character for the MCU. I'm concerned about taking someone who's already been on a huge hit series for years, and is she going to want to stick around for that long?
Very true.
I don't know. We'll see. They also announced that, the rumor is now that some of the Netflix characters are going to be returning. We're going to be getting Charlie Cox as Daredevil, John Bernthal as Punisher, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, but we're not getting the same versions of them. The current rumor is
Rebooting.
that, yeah, rebooting, and Vincent D'Onofrio is Kingpin, which I'm all down with. But I gotta ask you this, all right? First of all, they're not going to retell the same stories. I don't think. First of all, I don't think these characters are getting their own movies. They're going to be supporting characters, and I don't think they're going to come back and tell the story of Daredevil and Stick all over again.
Is it going to be Defenders?
Well, that's potentially they could do that. So I have to ask, is it necessary to deliberately say these are not the same characters unless you come up with a conflict, and then at that point you have to do it? Because they already connected those versions of the shows to the MCU in a very
tenuous way. Yes.
Yeah. I really don't think it's necessary to go that far.
Absolutely not. Like you can keep what's in place, like you said, unless something comes up where it makes it necessary to contradict it.
Yeah,
like they've told the stories, like just move forward, like they've done with the Spider-Man movies, or even like when they did the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton version.
Yeah,
like we didn't need to rehash the origin. Like we did the thing over the credits, that was fine. But you know what? We were moving forward. They didn't disconnect it from the Eric Bana version, and that's on my mind for a reason. We'll get to that in a little while.
Okay.
But like you don't need to go there. And the same with once we get
did you hit your head too?
A lot, not tonight. But who the hell plays Banner now?
Mark Ruffalo.
Thank you. We got him, and just with a throwaway line, we get the connection that it's the same Hulk that was in the Edward Norton movie, but we don't need to rehash any of it. Sorry, yeah. I just keep derailing your news segment tonight. My bad.
It's okay. And we're only on the first story. Look at that.
I want to talk more about it, but go ahead.
All right, yeah, we can circle back to it. Next up, Big Trouble in Big China. The recently released trailer for Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is not doing so well in China. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. It is estimated that the dislikes on the video will surpass the likes in the next day or so. Now, this is a big deal because China has quickly become a necessary market for the film industry, especially after COVID. They need that market to really boost the box office, to make their bottom line successful. Now, what's interesting is this is all based off a trailer that doesn't really tell you anything. People are saying they feel like it doesn't represent Asians in a positive way. The people that worked on it, though, they're stating that they feel that this was, the most inclusive set they've worked on. Specifically, the girl, and I forget what her name is, but she was in Pretty Big Asian. What is that thing? The Asian thing? The movie.
Rich Asian something or other.
Yeah.
Rich Asians.
That's what it is. I was mixing it up with Pretty Little Liars. And one of the actresses from that is in this, and she said it was the most inclusive set she's been on. And I don't know, but I feel like one of the actresses from that movie flipped out and said, "Hey, it was awful" while we were on the movie. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but anybody that was on that movie saying this was a good set, I kind of give some credence to that because they know what it's like to not work on a good set. Now, some people are calling out that the director is not Asian, even though a lot of the cast is. I can understand that to a degree, but just because we have inclusion doesn't mean every person that works on the movie has to be, of that particular creed. It's great when we can do it, but
can I lodge a complaint back to 2017 then? Because I heard the second mic grip on Black Panther was a white guy. So, we need to do something about that.
Well, in fairness, directors are more high profile, but I think that you have to see what they've done before we start making those comparisons, because if they put together a really good inclusive movie, then maybe he was the right guy for the job. And you know what? Even though women and minorities need more opportunities, sometimes the right guy for the job is a white guy. It's going to happen statistically. You can't avoid that. Sometimes the right guy for the job is going to be, an Asian woman. We'll see you next time. Finally,
that reminds me. I'm sorry. Speaking of the right guy for the job, I got a note from corporate. Corbs, we have to replace you with a Black Asian woman.
Sweet.
Just saying.
I'm a chameleon. I can play that role.
Perfect. We'll see you next week.
That would be blackface. You can't pull that off, dude. Come on.
You also have to do the slant eyes,
Dude,
so
you
we're
know
really
what'll
gonna
hap-
piss people
You know
off.
what's gonna happen if you like get called out for trying to be a black Asian trans person or something? You know, it's gonna be a disaster, man.
You can't call somebody out for being trans.
Well, if he tries to fake it, people
You can't
will
do
call
that.
Fake it
No,
all.
you can't do that.
We just
I
need a
didn't
press
say I
conference
was.
first.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You can just come out and say, I now identify as a black Asian trans woman, and everything will be okay.
Corbs, I need to talk to you about a segment for next episode.
So,
How many countries are you trying to get us banned in? That's
the
about-
100th and final episode of Geek Pod.
We can
Finally,
market that. Go. I'm sorry. Go.
finally, Lionsgate has announced they have an American Psycho TV series in development. They also said they're looking at other properties such as Saw for potential TV shows. I think that's interesting in a post-COVID world. These companies are looking at some of their big movie properties because remember, Saw is one of the highest-grossing franchises of all time, and there's a new one coming out like in a month or two. So
Wow.
there's with Chris Rock actually.
Chris Rock and Danny Glover? No.
No, it's Chris Rock and somebody else big.
And Jackson.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. And
Who's
Chris Rock
bigger
actually,
than Chris Rock?
Chris Rock actually had the idea for this movie. He went to them with the idea.
Nice.
This is interesting. But yeah, I think this is great because if following on from the Purge TV show, which I loved for the 2 seasons it was on, at least for horror, I think it's a great idea. You know, let's take some of these franchises, and if you're scared about putting a movie out there because of people aren't really going to them right now, put it onto a TV show. We're eating that shit up like crazy. I'm really looking forward to this. And that's the news, kids. Now I need to get back for my Search Life's meeting while I wait for the Valhalla DLC to drop next month. What do I do until then? What is life even?
Wait for your magazine subscriptions.
I got an idea. All the Sony Spider-Man are coming to Disney Plus.
Paul?
In other news, 2 out of 3 adults in the United States have hemorrhoids. Back to you, Corbs.
What the hell is your problem?
Which ones is it?
Not it.
Oh, well, then that narrows it down because it's not me either. Sorry, guys.
Jesus.
Did you say which ones have hemorrhoids or which ones are hemorrhoids? Because still not it.
My ass hurts.
I have my suspicions.
That's why I need the
Corbs,
dildo. That's why I need the dildo.
You want
is
to
that
school
gonna
us
help
on a
hemorrhoids?
classic movie, Corbs?
I get no respect here.
How is that going to help your hemorrhoids? Are you trying to like burst them open or
Put 'em back in.
Jam things in
shave
there.
them off?
Just jam things in there. It's all right. It's all good.
I've got a microplane you can try.
Oh man, you guys.
Jesus H. Christ. I got nothing.
You got enough there. Yeah.
I got
No.
none. No
That's
Not
more.
your
even a movie
co-host
review?
behind you.
What'd you say? What's behind me?
I said, ask your co-host behind you. Other shoulder.
All right. So this week, I was going to do it last week, but some asshole's birthday fell on that day, so you need to fire that guy. You need to replace him with a black Asian woman.
He tried, but he came back like 4 years later.
He did. He's like a bad virus. He just keeps coming back. So this week we're gonna go with Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield
Vehicle?
vehicle mishap, car wreck. I don't know. Whatever you
That
want.
was a good one.
Whatever you want to call it. So Rodney Dangerfield stars as Thornton Mellon. He's a Italian immigrant. Father is makes clothes, a seamstress, I guess you would call him.
Taylor? Or Taylor?
Whatever. Taylor, seamstress. It's all the same shit. Fuck off.
Who's Taylor Seamstress? Is that some pop song?
That's that new country singer.
It was my high school rock band.
There you go. Oh man. So Third Mellon decides to open up his own line of clothing stores called Paul, remember what it's called? Have you seen the movie, Paul?
A long time ago.
Okay, it's called Tall and Fat, which is what I am.
Oh, hey, look, there it is right there. Okay. In my review too.
Yeah, makes himself into a multi-millionaire. I guess that's what it is. So I guess the long story short of it, his son goes off to college, supposed to be this big diving guru or whatever. Basically, his kid's life is not what he expected to be in college. He lies to his dad a lot about being a diving team for fraternity. Or maybe he might have been a sorority. I don't know. So the kid decides he's going to drop out. So his dad, Thornton, decides he's going to go to school with him. Donates a business building to the school to get in. I mean, the long story short of it is it's a funny movie. I mean, Rodney is pretty funny in it, from what I can remember. I mean, I watch it when it's on. I don't stop. I don't have to stop everything and watch it, but I mean, it's a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's funny because it's got Rodney in it. I guess that's the big selling point. Couple of big actors in it. Or at the time, you got now he's a big actor now, but then it was like one of Robert Downey Jr.'s first movies.
Oh, back in the day when he was on the crank.
When he was actually on, he was high. Ed Beatty's in it. Who else? Burt Young from Rocky fame.
Oh, yeah.
Thornton's driver. And then Johnny Lawrence is in it.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's Chaz. He's Jason, which is Thornton's son's chief rival on the diving team.
Gotcha. So playing the same character, basically.
Yeah, he's playing a dick.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get kicked in the face this time, though. I'm only going to give it a couple stars. Like I said, it's not a great movie, but got some real good, funny one-liners and stuff in it. I mean, obviously, anytime Dangerfield's in a movie, it's going to be funny. I mean, he's funny in general. I mean, he's got some really dumbass movies out there, but Meet Wally Sparks comes to mind. See, nobody even knows that movie.
Nope.
We won't be covering that movie. So, I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not really all that prepared for this one. Even though I had 2 weeks. Stop popping shit up on my computer. Fuck off. I had a bunch of updates on my computer. My malware is dying.
Perfect.
So just keeps popping up. Sorry. So I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5.
All right. Well,
what does Ebert have to say?
He gives it 3 stars.
That's why he's dead.
You remember me to write that one down? And he has to say on his review from June 13th of 1986, Rodney Dangerfield has been given interviews lately on the subject of his loneliness. Why, he asks, should a guy like him, who is able to fill up giant concert halls and pull down millions of dollars a year, be condemned to go through life without the love of a woman? This is not the sort of a thing you want to hear from a comedian. You want him to be zany and madcap, to stand astride the problems of the mundane world and laugh at them. Yet in Dangerfield, there has always been something else in addition to the comedian. This is a man who has failed at everything, even comedy. Rodney Dangerfield is his 3rd name in show business. He flopped under 2 earlier names as well as his real name. Who is really at home inside that red, sweating face and that knowing leer? The most interesting thing about Back to School, which is otherwise a pleasant but routine comedy, is the puzzle of Rodney Dangerfield. Here is a man who reminds us of some of the great comedians of the early days of the talkies, of Groucho Marx and W.C. Fields. Because, like them, he projects a certain mystery. Marx and Fields were never just being funny. There was the sense that they were getting even for hurts so deep that all they could do was laugh about them. It's the same with Dangerfield. What the fuck kind of a review is this? It's like a psych profile.
It's like just a review on him.
Right? All right, so here we go.
Maybe Rodney referred to the love of a man.
What?
Maybe Rodney did not want a woman. He wanted a man. Or a man-child.
Yeah. He plays Thornton Mellon, a millionaire clothing manufacturer who owns a chain of tall and fat shops. His father was a penniless Italian immigrant who took him into the family business as a child. He never had the opportunity to get an education. Now he is rich. His second wife is an obnoxious bauble, and all he cares about is his son, Jason, who is a college student. Dangerfield finally believes Jason is a fraternity member and a star of the diving team, but actually, Jason is the campus wimp, the team's towel boy, and of course, he gets no respect. When Dangerfield discovers the truth, he decides to enroll in the university as a freshman so he can teach his son the ropes. Of course, there's resistance to this plan, but not after Dangerfield endows the Mellon School of Business Administration. The campus characters are predictable but well cast. Sally Kellerman is the sexy English teacher, Paxton Whitehead is the Anglophile business teacher, and Ned Beatty is the venal administrator, always referred to as Dean Martin. Dangerfield takes the drinks for everybody approach, throwing his money around and hiring expensive coaches to help him pass his classes. Kurt Vonnegut Jr. turns up as a paid expert on his own work. Meanwhile, young Jason learns how to be a big man on campus. This is exactly the sort of plot Marks or Fields could have appeared in. Dangerfield brings at something they might also have brought along, a certain pathos. Beneath his loud manner, under his studied obnoxiousness, there is a real need. He laughs that he may not cry. Dangerfield has been looking for a movie style for a couple of years now. The problem with his last movie, Easy Money, from 1983, was that he wanted to seem like a basically nice guy. He isn't a nice guy. Or at least when he is nice, there is nothing simple about his niceness. The interesting achievement of Back to School is the ability to make those contradictions part of the character. That was a strange fucking review. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Rodney Dangerfield was a strange fucking guy. I mean,
okay, very true.
To be honest.
Yeah.
I say was. Is he gone? Is he still with us?
No, he's gone.
Is he gone? I didn't even know.
Still, he gets no respect.
No.
Well, not under that name or any of those other three names.
Yeah, I'm curious about that now. I'm interested in what all of his 27 names were. Meh.
Ron Peril Hill.
You're already Googling it? Perfect.
No, I said Ron Peril Hill. Ron Peril Hill. Dangerfield Peril Hill.
Oh, look at you. Look at that. This whole book reading thing's paying off. I like that.
I don't get it.
Peril, like you're in peril. In
yes.
game.
No, I get the joke.
No,
yes.
I'm for Kevin. He said I don't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I got to ask you guys something. It has to do with your personal lives. Now, do any of you ever like ride around and your wife is driving?
Yes.
No.
Or a girlfriend in this case.
Sometimes.
All right. Now when you're in the car, I mean, even if you know they're not driving, a lot of people have a rule: whoever drives controls the radio. Do you ever, in a situation where they're in control of the radio and you're not?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I have to ask you. I mean, are you ever embarrassed? Like you're rolling up to a stoplight and shut up and dance with me. It comes on and she turns it up, and you're just like, this is not me. I hope nobody sees me. I mean, it may be your guys' musical talent meshes or musical taste meshes, but so that happens to you guys too?
Yes.
Dude, when I'm driving, it doesn't my car, truck, I don't care what it is. I'm playing freaking Olivia Newton-John, man. I'm fucking rocking out. I mean, nothing better than that.
So you and her would probably get along then, musically. No, I mean she likes some of the stuff. She will listen to pop rocks when she's in control of the car. Pop rocks on Sirius XM.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has some decent stuff on there, but
once in a while, yes.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about because
like,
Kristen listens to the same thing. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm more of an Octane guy. I like Octane.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you and I listen to the same radio station, and we didn't even know it.
Right. Big surprise.
Yeah. Go figure. Yeah. So it's today. It was just weird. We were driving. The windows are down because it was nice out and everything, and I was just like, oh, God, I hate some of these songs. I mean, they're not bad songs. I mean, all right, it's just I look like I don't like that song. Okay, just look at me. Does he look like a guy that likes Shut Up and Dance with Me? No, probably fucking not. Anyway, I wanted to throw it out there, see what you guys thought.
Yeah, my girlfriend likes country music, so
She likes both kinds of music, country and western.
I understand that reference.
I know you do.
Am I the only one?
I've heard the phrase. I don't know where it's from.
Blues Brothers.
how much you want for the women?
Right. Some of your women. Yes.
Dude, I saw that movie once years ago. I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to be some kind of cultural touchstone, but I was like, that was all right. And maybe it's because I didn't watch the skits. I didn't watch SNL, so I wasn't primed for it.
I also tried to talk you into doing that as cosplay for a Halloween.
Yep, you did.
Yeah. One of the cons. Was it one of the cons or was it the zombie ball?
I'm not sure. I recall not being enthused.
No, you wanted no part of it. Yeah.
There's a couple of guys that go around Syracuse dressed like the Blues Brothers in the same kind of car, and they take pictures. You take pictures with them. If you post them online, they talk about you, whatever. When I met those guys, I was literally speechless. I'm like, oh my God, I love you guys. Can I please ride in your trunk? They wouldn't take me wrong.
Yeah.
Is that where you got the bag of dildos?
Could be. It could be.
And the Nat Geos.
It was about that time, and it was somewhere near the fair, and that's where I met him. So there you go. Maybe that was it.
Actually, aren't those Watertown guys? Because I know the ones you're talking about.
I think they are. They come down, for the fair, and they come down for some other events and stuff. So you see them around the parades and stuff.
And you also got
good
the guy, the Hanson brothers that go to the Crunch games.
Wait, did you say that? Oh, Hanson. Yep.
Not the singers.
No, yeah, I completely went mbop there. Sorry.
Yeah. I went mbop because that's what came on right after.
That's because what you guys listen to. You guys listen to mbop. Don't tell me that you don't listen to it.
They're on their pop rocks.
The Hanson brothers. The
yes. Slap shot.
Slap shot. Yep.
Yes.
Which was filmed here in Syracuse.
Yes. At the War Memorial.
Yep. Sure was.
God damn it. I have to write that one down now too so we can link to that. Hold on. All right. So why don't we go to our final break here, and then we'll come back, wrap the show up. And I'm going to explain why you're not watching the same commercials you normally do. All right. So we'll see you back in just a minute, guys. All right. So as you noticed, there's a shocker. We have not been playing any of the commercials this week for the Sci-Fi HorrorFest that we were going to attend. And that's because they have postponed it until next year. Tiffany, who's one of the owners of the con, and she's the one that we've been in contact with the whole time. Really great. She's awesome. Huge fan of us for whatever reason. I don't know why. She loves us. She did send along a note for me to read to you guys, and this is it. It is with a heavy heart that we announce that Sci-Fi HorrorFest once again is postponed due to the unrelenting COVID-19 restrictions for indoor events. Sci-Fi HorrorFest will be held next year on August 26th and 27th of 2022 at Vernon Downs Hotel and Casino. Please note that we did not come to this decision lightly, nor was this a decision we thought we would have to make again. What it comes down to is doing right by everyone and ensuring everyone's safety. We will be reaching out to everyone who purchased a vendor space and or tickets. Thank you to everyone for your love, patience, and support. And I'm already going to go ahead and say that GeekPod will be there next year. Who from GeekPod will be there? That's up in the air because again, it's falling on a bad weekend for the crew. So
you can say it, Paul. Why do you have to be so cryptic? It's on my daughter's birthday.
So does it legit fall on her birthday this time?
Well, I mean, her birthday is the 26th. So
okay, so I wasn't sure because I knew it was around for the
yeah.
this
Well,
one
the issue is where well, at least for this year, it would have been her 10th birthday. So we planned on, that's a big birthday. You have to have a big party. I can't be like, okay, we're gonna have this big party, all this food, all these people, and go to my wife. Hey, sorry, I'm gonna go to the con and hang out with the guy who played Jason Voorhees. She could kick my ass. So
yeah, that's definitely what.
And the same thing's gonna happen because we probably can't have that big party this year. So we're gonna have to kick it down the road to 11.
Right. So now you're having the 11th birthday party and still not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe you can make day 2. We'll see. And I know they're going to do a lot of restructuring for guests and all that. We were having a little discussion about it that I can't go into too much. Many of the guests that were planned for this year will be coming back for next year, but there are also open slots. So I was giving some of my suggestions, which I'm sure will go unheeded because, I mean, it's me and what do I know about business? So more of mine is more like, wouldn't it be cool if, and that's about it. So
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't know anything about planning a con and getting, some big, pop culture icons like the comic book men to show up or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't know anything about that. No.
Anyway.
So we discussed why we took a 2-week break, right? Part of that was Corb's birthday. That we took that week off.
Yeah.
Which I kind of had to remind him.
Thanks, Tom.
I kind of had to remind him that we were taking the week off for his birthday. He texted me. I was like, dude, we're taking your birthday off.
I thought we were going to record on my birthday. We had talked about recording on my birthday.
But we also talked about not recording on your birthday because who wants to get stuck sitting podcasting on their birthday?
Yeah, and it worked out better that we didn't because everybody was still here at like 10 o'clock. So
see, there you go.
Paul, you totally would. You totally would do it.
I would. I would legit. What?
I was ready to go for my podcasting on my birthday, fuckers.
Yes, because you were very concerned that I hadn't watched Fear the Walking Dead yet.
Yes. And you understand why.
What?
You understand why.
I do. Yes. It took me a second because Magnum was putting his car up in the back there.
Nah, dude, call him Sully.
Sully.
Wait, the people who watch this on YouTube, they can see the little names, right? Because otherwise all these are going to fall flat.
Right. Yes, the names I do think show up. Still don't know why. But the other reason that we should have had 99 out of the way 2 weeks ago. And that fell by the wayside because I was stuck the night of recording, putting together an entire fucking patio set on my back deck. Someone decided we needed brand new patio furniture.
But I heard it was pretty nice stuff.
According to Facebook, it is. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. It'll be a good time for this summer to chill on.
Aren't you glad you put that shit together just in time for the snowstorm we had 2 days ago? Yesterday.
Yeah, everything was covered in snow, including the yard that I freshly mowed like 2 days before.
Me too. I mowed it last Sunday. I mowed this past Thursday. There's like 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground.
But it was gone by 5 o'clock.
Yeah, still
no.
So
I was
weird.
still pissed.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I was pissed when I woke up and go out the door at 6 o'clock to find snow on my car.
Yep.
It's like a week after my birthday. What the fuck?
Yeah, we shouldn't be getting that, but I mean, it happens with global warming and all that stuff.
I'm just like with an aerosol can and just spray it in the air.
Just to be vindictive.
Fuck the youth.
So let's jump over to what we're watching midstream, guys. I'm assuming everyone has finished up Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
What is that?
I said I was caught up, but I haven't watched it. Not today's, but that's okay. I pretty much have an idea of what happened after last week's. It's pretty obvious what was going on.
One question after not this week's, but last week's. What was in the box?
Well,
wait,
the suit.
you're asking him? Or?
I said that the ball. Like I watched it. What it must have been. I think I watched it on my birthday.
Which would be last Friday, yes.
Yeah, and I texted to you, and I'm like, "What's in the box?" And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, because I hadn't watched it yet.
Wait, you know what was in the box now, right? You understand?
Yeah, I watched this week's episode.
Okay.
But I just thought it was funny because like they showed he opened the box and they didn't show what was in the box, and I just texted Paul. I'm like, "What's in the box?" Brad Pitt.
Because I could see the way they opened this week's episode. It would be possible to not get that.
Yeah, because they don't spell it out for you. But yeah.
I think the most burning question I have is, Sully, why did you lie about watching the episode? What a strange thing.
Well, I wasn't really thinking that today's Friday and I've been busy all day and I haven't.
Okay. All right.
So I was thinking, oh yeah, I watched the last one and I'm like caught up, but I'm really not.
Gotcha. Okay.
You guys did watch through the credits, right?
Yes.
There were credits?
There was a stinger last week too.
Yep. There was another one this week.
I missed last week's then. Fuck it. Did they say what was in the box after last week's?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, last week's was it just came back to Walker making his knockoff shield.
What a fucking douchebag that guy is.
See, I love him.
You love douchebags though.
I mean, yeah, I am friends with you
you're
guys.
for the Empire too, so screw you.
I'm not for the Empire.
The tough part about that character is, you saw when push came to shove, he did the right thing. It's easy to forget he's a decorated war hero. So there's a good person in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. He got tripped up by having trouble living up to the standards that Steve Rogers set. It's almost like he was destined to fail from begin with, and who can blame him? Sam only you had to let go of that in order to.
Yes.
So let's talk about this decorated war hero. Let's talk about how he got his decoration and how psychotic he was during the moments that went down that got him those decorations. Those were not the actions of a sane, heroic man. Those are the actions of a man on the brink of disaster, and he just happened to be crazier than the people that were after him, and he pulled some shit off that most other people wouldn't get away with. That's how he got those decorations. The guy's nuttier than a goddamn bag of fruitcakes, and he had no business wearing that uniform, hands down.
You're not wrong, especially considering the source material.
Yeah, when you bring that into play, yeah.
Which is why I love him so much. It's because I remember watching that. Like that just happened to be when I decided I was starting to pick up Captain America as a kid. Is when Walker came on, and I got to see everything he had done. And as crazy as he is in the show, I think it was worse in the comics. Am I wrong, Hugh?
I don't know, because I don't really remember that run. I'm not even sure I read that run of the comics. I remember when it happened. I never knew in the comics. The black and white uniform. That you don't forget that. But I didn't actually read. I've never really read Captain America. He's
me neither.
He's like DC's Superman. It's the Boy Scout. Now I've never found it to be very interesting.
Yeah, no, it's just like I said, it was happenstance. I just happened to start picking it up then, and then all of a sudden, there's this new guy who says he's Captain America, and there's Battlestar, and they're talking about not being able to call his sidekick Bucky.
So let me ask you guys a question. now what I remember from the comic books, and I only knew Captain America peripherally, the serum was actually killing him.
Yes.
Why did we never get any of that from Marvel Universe on screen? They completely sidestepped that.
Yes, they did. And I think that was because that was very convoluted with how they had to bring him back. And at the time that we got Civil War, they were not ready to end his run as Captain America. Because with what they did in the comics and with as convoluted as his resurrection was, you couldn't do that in the movie and make it work.
Now, are we talking about him aging and then getting younger again? Or are we?
No, we're talking about Sharon Carter assassinating him on the steps of the courthouse.
Oh, yep. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that going to come in something later on? Because she's
No.
freaking power broker.
They're
yeah,
never
no,
going to
they
touch that.
like Kevin said, they completely sidestepped that. That's something that should have happened in Captain America Civil War if it was going to happen,
So
or immediately following that.
You guys remember the TV show, Captain America, the TV show? Did you ever
The one with the see-through shield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote it, he had it in front of the bike. I mean, it had a motorcycle in it, so of course I was interested in it. But that was a big part of that show, was the fact that he was sick from the serum that made him Captain America, and it affected his ability to do whatever he was doing, and he was always fighting against that. So I mean, the comic books, the television show that precluded, all of this, that's a big part of the story. I mean,
is it though? I mean, I've never picked up I did not know that was a thing until you just said it.
Right.
I've never read Captain America a lot. I've picked up issues here and there. I've never run into that. Was that a big part of the comic at any point?
In the comics, for a little while, it was a thing.
Okay.
And that was when they were doing the whole war on drugs thing. So that tied into it, like poison in his veins. And yeah.
See, I remember from the Avengers crossovers and stuff where they would talk about, and he would, after a battle, he'd be fucking strung out. That boy was hurting.
Yeah, and that was probably the same time that he got his battle armor too, like to help augment it after the fact.
This was before that, because
it got weird.
I stopped reading comic books in mid '80s, right before I went to service, and that's the last time I touched a comic book, really. So it was before a lot of that stuff. I never saw Walker. I never saw Falcon take over for Cap. I never saw a female Thor. I never saw any of that shit.
You're gonna see a lot more of it.
Superman die. I never saw any of that stuff. So this whole alternate universe thing, and Paul knows what I think about that. None of that happened until after I was out of the comic books. I'm kind of glad, because had it happened when I was reading, I think I might have just taken them all out in the backyard and burned them.
What is this alternate universe thing that you're talking about?
I think he's talking about Heroes Reborn.
All this bullshit where they run multiple storylines and they bring people back from the dead, and
Heroes Reborn kind of reset everything, though, didn't it?
They want to retell stories, so they just say, "Oh, well, this didn't actually happen in that timeline. It's a different timeline altogether."
Yeah, but the Marvel,
there's 6 different Spider-Men.
But those are multiversal Spider-Man. Marvel's still in the same. That's been a big thing. Like, even though they have big events, they've never rebooted like DC did.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
unless you want to factor in One More Day.
Bunch of bullshit.
Oh, I don't think that you can figure that in. No, Marvel is still in the same continuity it's always been in. Now they'll have alternate universes, or maybe a character comes from an alternate timeline, but they never shifted the entire universe into an alternate timeline.
No, and even when they did that Heroes Reborn, that was a pocket universe. That was
and then they put it all back together. But they kind of have to take things like you're talking about Captain America being sick. Some of those things don't translate well to movies. We never really touched on Tony's alcoholism, and that's a huge. That's one of the defined Iron Man comics, Demon in the Bottle. Never touched, and they didn't, because it would have hurt the character. With a movie, you have limited time. You get to put out a story every 2 years with that character. If they'd done an Iron Man TV show, I guarantee that would have been at least a season-long arc.
They completely captured the Iron Man, totally 100% flawed Tony Stark, the woman being, you know, multi-billionaire without a care in the world. They totally captured that without alcoholic, because peripheral alcoholic, because he was a party animal.
Well, yeah, but you know, if you pick out what is the most famous or defining Iron Man comic book moment, it is 100% Demon in the Bottle.
Yes.
I mean that cover, you really one of. I would venture to put out there that it is the most known Iron Man story of all time. I mean, can you think of one that is over the entire course of Iron Man's history that was a bigger deal?
You know, Iron Man is another one that I didn't read. I didn't actually buy Iron Man comic books. I knew him peripherally based on, you know, touching other characters that I cared about. Only after the movies came out did I have any kind of concern about any kind of the history. But I mean, I already knew enough about it to understand who the character was and what the, you know, what the whole backstory was. I never saw that.
Yeah, that was a big deal. He was an alcoholic. Yes. He gave up the armor. That's when Rhodey became War Machine and stepped in and replaced and did his job while he was all sorts of fucked for a long time. Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, the only other story that maybe has his
so they gave him a mental breakdown instead of making him an alcoholic. Same thing, really.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about them not using something from the comic book, I think you have to include that.
Well,
without a doubt.
What I'm talking about though is the flaw that eventually killed Captain America. I mean, they're just letting him, you know, age out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a completely different. It's a complete departure from the character. You know, I mean, you're talking about Tony Stark. I mean, they captured his essence completely. You know, they didn't need to add one more facet to it. With Captain America, they completely ignored, you know, who he was and, you know, what made him and what was eventually destroying him.
Yeah, but I think with the movies, it works because that's who
Steve
I love
the storyline. Don't get me wrong. I love the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
He got to go back and hang out with Carter, and, you know, live a complete life with her. You know, okay, the whole time travel thing, just, you know, I can't stand when they freaking do shit like that. But you're gonna tell a story like this, yeah, that's pretty fucking cool because, yeah, I felt that pain. You know, when he was going down on the ice and she was waiting for him, I felt that pain. So,
yeah.
And what are you gonna do when the actor's leaving the franchise?
Yeah, he was done. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
you have to figure a way out.
I mean, they could have done old Steve Rogers and all that stuff, but I mean, I feel like this is a much better way to handle it. It would have fallen flat if they tried to be more comics accurate there.
Right, and it gives them the chance to pass the torch.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the big thing. They needed to pass the torch. So either he has to get old or die. Or
they didn't prep for it. They didn't prep for it, so they had to find a way out.
Right. They couldn't have prepared, unfortunately.
Well, I'm guessing the Russo brothers probably did actually prep. Come on, this shit was planned. I mean, at least since it's probably since Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I bet that they knew where Cap was going to end. That is my personal opinion. But I mean, all those movies are so well put together that I have a hard time believing that they did not know this, because that ending fits very well with the story they had told in those last two movies. All you know, with time travel. You know, it's not just like, oh wait, we could have Cap return the stone.
Well, let's not forget the sci-fi undoes every single time travel is the ultimate undo for every single sci-fi movie that they can't figure out how to write a story end to.
Oh yeah,
so
but
that is the ultimate cop out. Time travel is the ultimate cop out.
I agree.
I mean,
you can tell though, when they do that. You can tell because you're like, oh, that's a cop out.
You're like, oh man, we got nowhere else to go. Well, let's make it a multiverse, or even better, let's make it a time travel event. Whatever.
He's a big fan of time travel. That's what it is.
Fucking idiots.
Intel.
How you feel about Doctor Who?
Who? My sonic screwdriver here so I can fix my computer.
Let's move on to Fear the Walking Dead. Corbs, take it away.
Where are we going?
Hopefully somewhere in Texas, I think.
Is that where it was? All right.
I
Seriously?
hope they're still there.
Right. I'm hoping everybody watched it. Okay, good. Because I don't want to like spoil shit or anything. But how do you kill off freaking John Dory?
Right?
Had to.
Well, I mean, I understand that you got to kill off.
I love the guy.
You know,
Love him.
And I found out that he wants to do other things. After himself, he wanted to do other things, and he was like, "This has to happen for the show to move forward. Somebody has to go, and I'll be the sacrificial lamb." But the fact that the freaking Dakota was the person that killed the guy that he was trying to, I was like, "Holy crap, that's a big." And I was like dumbfounded. My son was like, come walking in the room, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And she fucking shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Holy shit!" And she pushed him in the river. I'm like, He can't die."
Yeah, no, with all the swerves in that episode, I was convinced by the end that he wasn't going to die.
Right. Because he really wanted to die.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, right at the end, he's like, "I can help you. Let me help you." And she shot him, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Kudos to them for keeping that under wraps for like a year.
Yeah, because that was from what I read, that was filmed before COVID started.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he had to keep that under wraps for like 6 months. He said, like people would ask him how it was going on the show, and he couldn't tell them anything. Like he knew.
Well, Dillahunt said on his Instagram that his character's death had nothing to do with this next series or this next show he's on.
Right.
Obviously, in order to make time for one, you got to do the other. Well, there has been others. I mean, look at Denai Guerrera. She's done all sorts of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of characters that have done multiple things while shooting for Walking Dead. The one girl there, the young girl, she was in a series that we just watched, not too long ago. What the hell was the series we've been watching that she was on? I can't think of what it was.
Creep Show. She was in Creep Show. You're talking about you're talking about
young girl.
Judith Grimes.
No. But that's another good one. The one of the young girl that's like the center point in Fear.
Alicia.
Alicia.
She was on the 100 or something.
Yeah. So she was doing 2 series at the same time, and those are intense series that she was filming at the same time. So it's not like he couldn't do both. You know what I mean?
Right.
He says the one didn't buy because of the other. But I really believe that he had to go. I mean, it really affected Morgan. And as we all know, Morgan needs significant events to change his path.
Mm-hmm.
He needs those major wins to blow him in a different direction. I mean, he'd been gone a long time ago if he didn't have stuff like that.
Right. So yeah, but that was kind of a shock. And then of course, this week's episode.
Yeah. June
shot Virginia. I was like, holy shit. So I was like that, but I mean, obviously she was doing it I'm assuming she was doing it for John, but my thing is she in cahoots with
Strand?
That's his name. I'm wondering because she didn't when they ride up on the horses and she gets off, she's the first one to get off the horse, but she doesn't look like she wants to be there. If you look at her face, she's got like no emotion, no nothing. Like when Ruben Blades shows up, and his character shows up, he says, "Hey Morgan," and all that stuff, and everybody's kind of like, "Oh, hey, we're here. Thank you for saying that." And she just got that look like, "I don't fucking want to be here."
That look like I just had to kill my husband. That's kind of how I took it.
Well, if everyone could have been that, but he was at that point. She was there, Virginia was there, and all that stuff, and they were basically at that point. I think that was before they were going to chop her head off or whatever, and Morgan kind of backed down, almost like Rick did with Negan. Agreed? Disagree? Somebody? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a parallel there.
I kind of felt like that, and she got to play that Maggie role. At that
Okay. Yep.
But she had that look on her face, like you should be killing this person. She's done things to everybody in our group type of thing. And he didn't. And then she got the final say. Almost like Maggie didn't get that final say.
Yet.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I did kind of feel like she didn't decide to kill Virginia until she was in the moment. You know, it seemed like she was just going to take care of her, and it was only because Virginia stated, you know, basically what came out was that she knew her sister was fucking crazy, and she could have done something to prevent this. And I really, in honesty, I don't understand why that's what pushed her off, because she understands people doing whatever they can to protect somebody they love. Right. And I'm not saying that Virginia was right or wrong there, but I mean, think about it. If you suddenly found out one of your kids killed somebody and you were in a position to try to rein it in and stop, you know, horrible things from happening and people to kill them, any parent would do the same thing.
Right.
You know,
I got one for you.
What's that?
So June still feels as though she's responsible for the death of those people because of her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
When Virginia was connecting with June, oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful little pussy right there. So when Virginia tries to connect with June with the whole, oh, you know, we'll do anything for our daughters, June decides, I can kill that part of me that I feel so horrible about. And I think you're right. That was the moment she decided she was going to kill Virginia. And she wasn't killing Virginia. She was erasing that part of her past.
Exercising her own demons.
That's a pretty deep thought right there.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll find out that things don't work like that.
Right.
She definitely will. She definitely will. Because she just ruined some relationships. Not that I mean, every one of them would overlook it because of everything June's ever done. But, you know, there's some trust that's lost now.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
The question becomes is, where does she go? Is she going to be on her own? Is she going to go to Strand? Is she going to go to Sherry's group?
Well,
is she going to go back to John's cabin?
She's going to go to the submarine.
Oh, I forgot about the submarine. Yeah.
Everybody forgets about the submarine.
Yellow
and
submarine.
Who has the key? Doesn't know what it is, but who has the key?
Morgan's got it.
Mm-hmm. Has no idea what it is. I mean, let's not talk about the fact that the submarine was in a fucking
parking lot.
Well, no, it's in a. What am I trying to think of? When you create a water area, it's called not a dam, but a
levee. No, I don't know.
No, you block off an area. No, you block off an area of land to create an area for water. It's called a. And then they let water out for the dam to get power.
Levee? No, I think is it a dam?
Well, it's a dam, but what's the area behind the dam with the water? Why am I forgetting? I know why. Because I've had a lot to drink.
Wow. You know they're doing a web series about the submarine, right?
No, I didn't know this.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they're doing I imagine it's going to start premiering soon. But yeah, just like they did the one with the airplane and all that shit, they're going to tell us the story of the submarine and how it got there.
Nice.
No, I didn't know reservoir.
That.
A reservoir.
There you go. Okay.
It's called a reservoir. What the fuck's a submarine doing in a freshwater reservoir?
We're going to find out.
There you go. All right. Anything else, guys? I'm looking at the list. I think.
Did we touch on the Negan episode from The Walking Dead?
Didn't we hit that before we went on the 2-week break? I think that was the last thing we talked about.
Yeah, because Fear's been on for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know, we didn't bring up the fact that DC Comics isn't going to publish Superman anymore, but I'm not sure that, you know, if anybody cares.
I'm not a Superman guy, but not Clark Kent Superman.
Yes, they're going to be switching to Jonathan Kent.
Yes, his son.
As the Superman for the universe. I don't know if his dad's still going to be around being Superman, but I mean, I'm sure this isn't going to stick.
No.
How can Superman have a son? I mean, was she from tonight?
Well, when a man and woman love each other, Sully.
Listen to me.
Make a baby.
Okay, let's think
Remember
about this for a second.
Are we
Think
gonna
about this for a second?
are we gonna quote Mallrats here?
That's what it was. Is Mallrats when
Yes.
Superman
Actually, I think Sully's
Kryptonite
going
Cannon?
fall on her back?
I think Sully's going to quote Neil. God, what the fuck is his name? Neil Adams, because he talked about that too.
Everybody's thought about it. I mean, if she ain't from Krypton, she's dead.
The fact of the
Yeah.
matter is, you could be right, but nobody actually knows. Just because he's super strong doesn't mean that he blows his load at 1,000
Just
miles.
shotgun blast.
He could. I'm
How's he
not
gonna
saying he couldn't.
control it?
It just might not work like that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if we had ever seen
I'm
him,
not saying you're wrong.
if we'd ever seen him use that to take down an enemy, then we'd have something to gauge it by, but we don't.
Well, has he ever had a really hot enemy?
Maximo was pretty hot.
I think they had a porno about that at some point.
I'm sure there is.
Blew her head right off.
I
definitely blow
mean,
our hair back.
seriously, you think about it. I mean, you have days where you're like, and other days where it's like bloop. I mean,
So it only takes one, and she's a done.
He's a goner.
All right, I think that's where we're gonna end this.
He ended on that.
Yeah. And then I think we're gonna go into dropping some wisdom nuggets.
Oh, there you go.
Well, your nugget.
If you read "fuck off" backwards, it's still "fuck off," but with an Irish accent. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.